Going on, guys? Yeah, I'm a little exhausted. Sharks lose in double overtime to the Canucks, but really, I can just hang my head and say, hey, they gave it their all this game. You might say they blew the lead, and I can blame it off of a bad call, but it was just one of those weird bounces. It wasn't their defense fucking it up. This was just one of those games someone had to lose, and the Sharks did. Well, I can just say, hey, it's been a good run. I can really just thank the Sharks for having a decent season. Going on with this game, Alex Burrows gets a first blood. The Sedin twins set up a lovely assist. Patrick Marleau blew his assignment, and it's up 1-0. Somehow, though, the Sharks were able to keep their composure. Didn't get out of the penalty box. Didn't get in the penalty box at all. And had a chance with 5-on-3, but they couldn't score. Uh, and it happens. Joe Thornton was not 100%. He had a chance to lift it upstairs, but Luongo made a nice save. Luongo was definitely playing like a man tonight. Finally, he learned how to make the big saves when he needed to. It was a good game. So then later, uh, after a couple penalties later, or sorry, the second period, it was kind of chippy back and forth. Both sides, the Sharks really were trying to win. I can tell that they were playing hard. They had the composure this whole game. It was just one really fluke goal near the end, but second period, Patrick Marleau happens to get a tip in. I think the goal should have been Dan Boyle's because it went off Keith Ballard's glove or stick. It was a very nice snipe by Dan Boyle. I'm not sure how Patrick Marleau got credited for that, but he did. Sharks scored on the power play and tied it up this game. And then it was just kind of the end of the second period. It was all nerve-wracking. You got the last 3 minutes, and they were pressing. You were thinking it was only a matter of time before the Canucks scored. Only a matter of time. And they can just say that the Sharks were able to hang in there and get out of there alive with only being a tied, of course. Going into the third period, it's one of those situations. If you're out getting refreshments in line, you missed it, or if you went to the restroom, Devin Setaguchi gets one. Henrik Sedin basically, I think, fans on the quick passing the puck, and it's a 2-on-none. And Joe Pavelski, great hustle to pass it to Devin Setaguchi and set up the 2-on-none goal. Luongo was forced to dive and bite, and Setaguchi gets a nice tap-in goal to make it 2-1. But you're just thinking, hey, there's way too much time on that clock, way too much time. And, that just near the end, it was all, they were playing very well fundamentally, controlling the neutral zone. And then suddenly there's an icing call on Dan Boyle. And I think a lot of us can agree that was a rough call. I know Canucks fans will have no sympathy for that or any pity. Obviously, they'll enjoy it. But because there was a face-off in the Shark zone, Kessler scores off of a bounce. Really lucky bounce there. It went in the net, though, and that's all that matters. So they tied it up. Overtime, it was very consistent. They were both, they were really letting both teams play. The Sharks, they weren't playing bad this game. It was just the shot execution was a little off. Couldn't get the puck upstairs. Couldn't. I guess the release off the stick didn't get a good shots off. But Luongo did make his big saves, and I have to give him credit for that. Luongo played the game they needed to, and I know the Canucks have not done good in Game 5s, closing out a series. But in this case, they did, and overtime. After the first overtime, the Sharks outshot them, but still couldn't create the chances that they needed. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So second overtime, still there were no penalties. I thought there were a lot of no calls both ways. This goes both ways. There was some questionable officiating, just calling penalties. I think the Sharks should have had some penalties. Canucks should have had a fair. But didn't matter because it's a lot of 5-on-5, and it's unfortunate the Sharks could not do much 5-on-5. It was pretty much this whole series the Sharks didn't do a whole lot 5-on-5, and what can you do? The Canucks were stopping stuff. The Sharks were blocking shots too, and overtime is up in the air, especially when you go deep into overtime. It just happened to have a weird bounce. It went off the glass, and everyone thought the play was over, but Bieksa didn't give up on the play, and it goes in the net. You can't do a whole lot. This game was not a choke. All I can say is I can just thank the Sharks for showing up and showing they wanted to win this game. That's all I can say. There's really no regrets. No regrets at all, this Sharks team. I know they took some bad penalties in Game 4. That one really sealed it in. But the Canucks are the better team on paper. No one, unless you're a Shark fan, no one picks the Sharks to win the series. So you can't really choke when you're an underdog. Just saying. I know you might say they blew this lead, but that icing call was definitely very questionable. Uh, there's going to be some changes needed, mainly on the fourth line, little bit of the fourth line, and some of the defense. I want to see Nicholas Volin go. I need to see Kent Huskins needs to go. Jason Demers should be back next year. Danny Heatley's probably the one who's the biggest turkey of the series, just not scoring a whole lot. Heatley, he's the highest paid player on the team, and he hasn't scored much at all. He's paid to score the most. So you want to talk about people who've been choking? It's got to be Danny Heatley. This series, he was paid to score, and he didn't come through when he needed to. Got Joe Thornton this year definitely shedded his monkey label. He was making assists. He was all over the ice. And this one, yeah, it hurts right now, but it doesn't hurt in the long term because we lost to a better team than us. Uh, if we lost Game 7 to Detroit, yeah, of course, that would be all explosion for me. You would have seen me frustrated and venting. But this is just one of those games where they gave it their all, and that's all you can do. Two teams is pretty evenly matched. It was close. It was really close, this game. But it just wasn't meant to be. So going on from here, they just got to address the defense. Not sure about Setaguchi getting re-signed or not. It's kind of up in the air. I know he did well early in this playoffs, but later I know he scored today, but he's still a lot of questions regarding Setaguchi. They need to fix the defense. I think Ian White should be resigned, but got to let Nicholas Volin walk. Justin Braun should step in soon. Until then, though, I'll probably make one more video before before the off season regarding my take on the team. It'll probably be a week from now, and of course this mustache and beard will come off. So until then, though, it's been a good run. I can only thank Doug Wilson. Antti Niemi's contract is being vindicated. He did his job this postseason. I know he had some down games, but he really showed up when they needed to. And something that Evgeny Nabokov wouldn't have done is we found ways to win, and found ways to win in the clutch throughout this postseason. So thank you, Sharks, for a decent run. I didn't have us going this far at all. I had a second round exit before the season started. I just didn't think we had the tools, but this team arguably was better than last year's. And they just need to make one or two more changes this offseason, and I think we have the tools set. A lot of it's up here because of the way they took those penalties, but this game, they actually were very good, with the exception of one penalty by Torrey Mitchell. They didn't go to the penalty box, so I can't really be mad after this loss too much. They gave it their all, and props to the Canucks. Good luck to you guys in the finals. I know you haven't been there since I was a toddler. I know you lost Game 7 to the New York Rangers back in the day. Of course, Mark Messier and I think Brian Leach beat you guys back with Richter. So good luck to the Canucks the rest of the way. If you're wondering who I'm rooting for, I'd prefer the Lightning, but as long as it's not Boston, I'm good. I really just despise Boston. That's who I really despise. No denying that. Just I despise Boston. So good luck to whoever wins the cup the rest of the way. This one doesn't hurt as bad. We're not the Washington Capitals, so we're in a better state than a lot of teams in this league, and I think we have a good 2 or 3 year window with this group of players remaining. So got to address the fourth line and defense. I'll summarize the season next week, about a week from now. So you'll hear me talk about the Sharks and my take on them to give my final thoughts. But we'll see you guys later. It's been a good run, Sharks. It's been a real fun season despite losing this series. I didn't have a lot of expectations from here on out. So we'll see you guys later, and go Sharks as always. But congrats to the Canucks tonight. We'll see you guys later.